He rose.
Thank you.
Let the word of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in thy sight. Oh, Lord, my strength and my redeemer.
Yes.
In thee we live and pray. Amen.
Amen.
Come on, turn with me to the book of John. John chapter 19. I'm going to read to you just one verse on today. John chapter 19, verse 30. The word of the Lord reads this. When Jesus, therefore, had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost. Can I read that to you one more time?
All right.
When Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost.
Yes.
You may be seated.
Amen.
We're going to speak from the topic, the bitter sip. The bitter sip. I've learned this in my life, and many might be able to agree with me on today. Now, the worst feeling in the world, I say there's two worst feelings in the world. One is when someone steals something from you. Anybody can agree? It's the worst feeling in the world. The second is when you receive something that you didn't ask for. When you make a request and you get something different. Anybody ever been there before? Oh, y'all know how y'all are. If it happens at a restaurant, the first thing you're going to do is get an attitude. Because the worst part about it is when it's masked and you don't understand and you don't know that it's not what you asked for. Really until it's too late. If you got a drink, it may have looked the same way. And then my wife the other day, we were at Sam's Club and she got a drink and she went and got ginger ale. But she didn't know that it really wasn't ginger ale until she tasted it. That's the worst part of finding something out, is that when you, in order to find out that something is not what it is, sometimes you have to taste it. Oh, I hope y'all follow me real quick. So understand that sometimes it's the worst feeling of being in a place of receiving something that you did not ask for. Because you get into a place of, when you request something, you get into a place that you are expecting of something. Oh, come on, somebody, all of us been in the same place. We've been praying and asking God. Mute this real quick. We've been praying and asking God to do something in our life. And we've been asking God to do something powerful and wonderful. But sometimes we think that we receive something that we did not ask for. God, I've been looking for favor. But sometimes we receive something else. God, I've been looking for this, but sometimes we receive something else. And most times it's something that we did not ask for. The worst thing in the world, I say sometimes, is having expectation. Because when you have expectation, most times or sometimes what? You get disappointed when you don't get what you want to get. Come on, somebody. That's how it's in life. It's normal to not be happy or excited to receive something else. That's my kids sometimes on Christmas. They have what they wrote down on their list. And they can't even enjoy something that they didn't ask for because they don't see what they did ask for. Come on, somebody. But you have to understand that sometimes what you get, sometimes it's what you need. Come on, somebody. And in your life, you can't walk through life just wanting everything and thinking that everything that you want is good for you. Come on, somebody. I know you want some sugar. I know you want some candy. I know you want some cakes and pies. But understand that cakes and pies is not always healthy.
That's right. That's right.
You can't ask no kid, do you want some broccoli? They're going to tell you no. That's not going to be first on their list. They're going to tell you no. But understand this. I ask myself this. What happens when the unexpected becomes your assignment? We see that Jesus, when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he was praying and said, Lord, if you can pass this cup from me. You get to a place that you understand when I receive this cup, what it is for. Before, prior to that, he was always telling the disciples that my days are short. These hours, these moments with me won't be here but for so long. But what happens when, even though you know what your journey has to take, even though you know what your future holds, what happens when the unexpected becomes your assignment? I'd rather go this way, but I understand this way, even though it's the hard way. This is my assignment. I'm speaking to some of y'all right now because some of us think that the easy road is where God is leading us. Some of us think that when God is taking us down the path of no issues, of no barriers, of no struggles, but God said that sometimes you got to endure some pain in your life. But guess what? As long as it's a part of the assignment, then guess what? God will be with you. That's why he spoke boldly and said what? Yea, though I walk through the valley of what? The shadow of death, I will fear what? No evil. Why? Because for thou art with me. Come on, somebody. You don't want to go through the valley of the shadow of death. But even though I don't expect to see it, what happens when the unexpected becomes my assignment? What happens when being fired becomes my assignment? What happens when being divorced becomes my assignment? What happens when being abused becomes my assignment? What happens when I fall into addiction? It becomes my assignment. What happens when my health begins to fail? Becomes my assignment. Do you think Jesus was laughing and feeling good and saying, oh, one day I'm going to have to be beaten in public. Yeah. One day I'm going to have to be stabbed and bleeding and bruised. One day I'm going to have to carry my own burden. Yeah. One day I'm going to have to hang on the cross with shame. One day I'm going to be stripped with my garments in front of all the community and all the town. One day somebody's going to praise me one day and say crucify him the next. One day they're going to train me for a robber and somebody that's guilty even though I'm not guilty of anything. One day the one that I healed with their eyes said crucify him. One day the one that I may have brought back to life may have said crucify him. One day the one that I prayed for and fasted for and stayed for and fed them will say crucify him. One day I might have to go through my unexpected assignment. Many of us got to see the same thing. We ask God, why do we go through what we have to go through? I've been asking God that, to tell you the truth, for the past 2 weeks. And it still seems like things continue and continue to happen. And you ask, but I say, God, I have to accept this unexpected assignment. Because whatever you're going to do, come on, sometimes you're going to be able to think on the other side of your circumstance. I know the only thing that helped Jesus was probably that he knew that at the end of the day, when I closed my eyes, one day I'm going to open them back up. Come on, somebody. Sometimes you're going to see yourself on the other side of the cross. Sometimes you're going to see yourself on the other side of the betrayal. Sometimes you're going to see yourself on the other side of shame. I may have to bleed today, but I shall live tomorrow. I may have to be beaten today, but I shall rise tomorrow. I don't know about you, but sometimes you got to think past your assignment. Yeah. It's not about what I have to do for the assignment. It's about what the assignment going to do for me. Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody. It may be ugly and uncomfortable about what I got to do for the assignment. But guess what? The assignment going to do something for me. Come on. Many people can say the same thing. It don't feel good when you got to be running on a treadmill for hours and hours. It's not comfortable. Anybody sitting there running like this? Anybody sitting there smiling? Most people was like, it ain't gonna go on like that. But sometimes you're gonna be able to say, you know what? It's not about what I have to do for the assignment, but it's about what the assignment gonna do for me. Come on, somebody. It's summertime coming. Come on, somebody. It's not about the pain and the misery, but it's about the outcome of the pain and the misery. And God is saying you have to be encouraged even in the midst of your storm. When it doesn't seem right, guess what? Still be encouraged. When it doesn't feel right, guess what? Still be encouraged. When it doesn't, when it doesn't feel comfortable, you gotta still be encouraged. Because your assignment is necessary. Your assignment, come on, somebody, is worth it. Come on, somebody touch yourself and say, my assignment is worth it.
My assignment is worth it.
So what happens when the unexpected becomes your assignment? You've been assigned to get what you don't want. You've been assigned to receive what you wasn't ready for. You've been assigned to receive what's different than everybody else's gifts and assignments. Oh, come on, you know how we do sometimes. Why couldn't I get so-and-so's anointing? Why can't I get so-and-so's purpose? Because God has given you your assignment. I don't ask for anybody's ministry because many times you don't know what they had to go through to have that ministry. Come on, somebody. You see TV. You see TD Jakes. But not too many people know what TD Jakes had to go through to get what he had to get. Come on, somebody. This is not no overnight thing. This is something that God said you got to be able to be trusted with your assignment. 3 days later, a resurrection just didn't come like this. But he had to endure betrayal. He had to endure denial. He had to endure public shame. He had to endure the cross. Come on, somebody. He had to endure death. He had to endure the abyss. Come on, somebody. Just for him to get to the risen day. Come on, somebody. God said, will you endure your assignment that comes into your life? No matter how ugly it is, no matter how strong it is, no matter how bad it is, will you endure your assignments? You gotta understand this, that sometimes receiving what you don't want is necessary for you to be who you've been called to be. Come on, somebody. Everything that you want is not necessarily what you need. He's praying in the garden and saying, let this cup pass from me. Many people will agree. Public shame is something that you don't want. Many people will agree. Being killed and dying on the cross is something that you don't want. But sometimes you have to receive what you don't want to become who you're going to be. Come on, somebody. Sometimes you have to endure what you don't really want just to become what God wants you to be. Come on, somebody. Sometimes you got to go through the dark days just to be able to see some sunny days. Sometimes you got to go through the storm and the pain. Come on, somebody. A storm has to come in order for us to sometimes see what? A rainbow. Come on, God is saying, I'm trying to bring you out of your storm so that you can see the promise that I have on your life. But one more time, will you understand? Will you endure the assignment on your life? So we get to this place in the text here that he says, as he hangs on the cross, he says, I thirst. This is one of the few times that Jesus reveals the fleshly man to us. He allows himself to be in man form and to now operate in God form. He had to endure this pain and this struggle to be able to let people know exactly who he was. If you go back further or earlier in the scriptures, you will see that there was one moment when Jesus allowed himself to be manipulated by a fig tree. He looked upon that tree, and the tree looked healthy. It looked like it was in season. It was filled with green leaves around it. When you look at a fig tree, green leaves has a representation that the fruit that it's supposed to bear is supposed to be on it. It said that when Jesus got closer to the tree, he found out that there was no figs on the tree. Come on, y'all know the Bible story. And he understands that there was no figs on the tree. Therefore, then he cursed the tree and told the tree that you will never bear any fruit again. He allowed himself to be manipulated. He understood in the God man that there was no figs on them. But there was a lesson that had to be learned. And even on this day, there's a lesson that has to be learned. Jesus is hanging there on the cross. And we understand, I said to myself, how can a man that offered a woman at the well water that shall never make her thirst again, but then be hanging on the cross saying that I thirst? Oh, that's one of the most contradictory situations in the Bible. Because when he was speaking to the woman, he was speaking in the God part of his manhood. But while he was hanging on the cross, oh, come on, somebody. I don't know about you, but I thank God for a Savior like that. That said, I won't allow the God man to take over, but I'll endure what man has to endure to be able to save all mankind. And so he stays there. He tells that woman, he says what? He said, if you knew who was offering something to you, you would have already asked me for water. the water that you shall never thirst again. But God decided, or Jesus decided to hang on the cross and be in his man form. And he says, I thirst. And he allowed himself to be in his man form to understand. Because I understood that the man form was dying. What am I trying to tell you that part? Is that God is saying that sometimes we have to go through and remain in our situation because he's letting some flesh die on the inside of your current situation. Sometimes we gotta let our flesh die in order for our God man to come forth. God said, I'm trying to bring something forth out of your life. You may have to take a bitter sip some days, but there's something greater coming out of you. You gotta raise your hand right now and say, there's something greater coming out of me.
There's something greater coming out of me.
So he says, I thirst. I thirst in this moment. And it says that they then took forth a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge and put it upon hyssop and put it to his mouth. Hyssop is a herb plant that has a mint smell to it. So I said they tried to mask what they really was trying to do. Oh, y'all ain't with me today. There's many people who serve you vinegar almost every day. And you don't even know that it's vinegar. Because they hiding it amongst the hyssop. Oh, come on, somebody. You think it's something else because the mint smell is there. And they start serving you vinegar and not serving you water. Well, come on, somebody. Many of us right now know that when we really want some water, many people don't drink water daily anyway. But they will drink it when they really are thirsty, when they become dehydrated. Your body tells you that I am dehydrated and I need something. We all know that vinegar is an acidic. Come on, somebody, an acidic substance that's fermented. And so we understand that will not quench your thirst. And so what they did was they wanted to play some games with the Christ. And they put it on top of a hyssop so that it can mask the smell of the vinegar and be something meant to think that he was getting something right. God said these are the same type of people in your life. And that when you are in need of something, you think that they're helping you, but they really are cursing you. Come on, somebody. You're hanging there in shame. And then you thought that they were supposed to help you. But guess what? They're sitting there cursing you. You thought that you was getting some help from a lending arm. You thought you was getting somebody who cared. But God said, even when they're trying to give you the bitter sip, even when they're trying to give you a little taste of vinegar, God said, you go ahead and endure your vinegar days. Has anybody ever been into a salty moment, a bitter moment with somebody? You thought that you was already out there jacked up and tangled up and tied up, and then somebody want to give you something else worse. But he said we have to endure our bitter sip.
Yes.
Endure the bitter sip. It said that when Jesus took the sip, read the text right here. It said that when Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. Let me help you understand how the text tells you what Jesus did without telling you. He knew, because he could taste it, that they gave him what he didn't want. But he did not focus on what he received. He focused on what it did. Many of us would have focused on what we received and didn't focus on what it did. Jesus already knew that what has happened fulfilled the prophecy that was already foretold. It already said the man will receive vinegar. And so all that was doing was confirming. And sometimes you don't understand that when you have the bitter sip in your life, don't take it for what others do to you. Just take it as it's confirming something in your life. Come on, somebody. When sometimes we have to endure the vinegar days of our lives. Don't focus on who gave it to you. Focus on how it's confirming who you really are. Come on, somebody. You got to be able to endure the bitter sip. People are going to give you some bitter days, some bitter responses, some bitter reactions. But God said it's not personal. Come on, somebody, but it's confirming you. You don't have to endure it. You don't have to worry about it. But God said your bitter sip is confirming what you're going through. He said that when he sipped it, he said, it is finished. It is finished. Oh, somebody ought to put their hands on something right now and say, it is finished. Ah, come on, somebody. Many of us think that right now we are enduring the bitter moment of tasting nothing but vinegar. Oh, come on, somebody. It seems like life right now. You know the face you make when you taste vinegar? No, nobody just drink vinegar and be like, you can't even hide that response. Because vinegar has got that taste. You always make that nasty face. It's disgusting. And what happens is that we're walking through life right now and we're receiving vinegar every day. Monday, I wake up and it seems like I'm experiencing a vinegar child. Tuesday, I wake up and it seems like I'm experiencing a vinegar situation. And we're wondering what is going on. That everything that I'm tasting, everything that I'm handed to, that my day is handing me a sponge full of vinegar. My situation is handing me a vinegar sponge. And God is saying, don't worry about what you receive, because you're enduring what you receive, because I'm confirming exactly who you are. I don't know about you, but God said you got to be able to endure. Be okay with receiving the vinegar. You don't even got to face to it. Jesus didn't even say anything to the vinegar. It said soon they gave him the vinegar. All he said was, it is finished. Because he understood that the vinegar confirmed everything that was supposed to go down into his life. And so since everything that could happen happened to me, guess what? It is finished. And God is saying the same thing to you. Everything that could happen to you, guess what? Happened to you. So all you got to do is stand up in the midst of your situation and say, it is finished. Everything bad to your finances, guess what? It happened to you. You can stand up in the midst of your situation and say, it is finished. Everything that went to your health, guess what? It happened to you. You can stand up and then say what? It is finished. You failed to every sin, failed to every trial, and guess what? Everything you had to go through on the streets, in drugs, in the club, in jail, guess what? It has happened to you. So you don't have to worry about it no more. Just say what? It is finished. I'm a new man. I'll die it all off. The flesh is no longer here. I understand it is finished. Oh, come on, the devil went through my family. Things happened, but guess what? It is finished. I don't know about you, but you ought to stand to your feet and claim that right now. That I'll take the hyssop, I'll take the vinegar, but I know today that it is finished. He said after everything, he knew that after all things have been finished. Some of us think that vinegar, the vinegar moments of our life, is a representation of how things are going to be. God said, not so. You received it because I'm confirming about that you're now going to step into who you will be.
Thank you, God.
We've been living through some vinegar receiving days. God said, it is finished. There was nothing else to be said. There was nothing else to be spoken to. I don't have to speak to what you're trying to do to me. Mm-hmm. We read it in Luke that it said that when the centurion came and he seen it, he said, this is truly the Son of God.
Yeah.
God is getting the glory.
Thank you, Jesus.
Hallelujah. Out of your vinegar experiences.
Thank you, God.
Right now, vinegar, not necessarily a bitter taste, it's more as a what? Sour taste. Mm-hmm. Some of us are just living in the midst of a sour life.
Oh, God.
In the midst of a sour life. Everything I receive just seems sour. Everything I try to achieve, it just seems like I'm taking sourness. Everything I go through seems like a sour experience. Yeah. God said, fret not. Even when Jesus hung on the cross and said, Father, Father, why have you forsaken me? Felt lonely because I was receiving a sour experience. And to me, that moment when he received the vinegar, that could have been anybody else's breaking moment. story never tells us that the only focus was on Christ. Those two thieves that was hanging on the other side got nothing.
Yeah.
And God said, you may be feeling like sometimes you're the only one going through. Only one dealing with something.
Yeah.
There's a reason. Because you're assigned. So you don't have to fret with your bitter sip and sour experiences. Because God is saying from this day, it is finished.
Thank you.
Grab your neighbor's hand.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's something we have to believe. God is saying, we have to speak it. We celebrate the resurrection of Christ. Means that everything that died on Friday did not raise back up on Sunday. Oh, y'all don't miss that part. You gotta say to yourself sometimes, I'm tired of picking back what is dead. Even when Jesus came, he said, let the dead bury the dead.
Yes.
You don't gotta pick up what you let down. In order to embrace new skin, you gotta let the old skin go.
Thank you.
For it cannot operate in the same body. In order for it to be finished, God said it has to be finished.
Yes.
Even when Jesus reappeared on earth, one place he did not visit was Calvary. Because he understood what he did there stayed there. God is saying this to you today. What is finished in your life? These bad habits have to be finished. These constant mistakes and weaknesses have to be finished. What are you claiming for your life on today? The things that you struggle with. And we just go in and out with God and asking God back, asking God, forgive us. What is time to die now? So that God can raise your purpose into your life. Everyone bow your heads. There may be one today that's saying this is a great day to give my life to Christ. Understanding exactly what he did on the cross just for us. What he had to endure in the common hall just for us. And I want to give my life to Christ because I understand now what it did just for me. Today's a good day to receive the Lord into your heart. If there is one, come and meet me here at the altar so that we can touch and agree that everything that you've been going through and enduring, struggling with, and keeping and holding on to is finished. There may be one right now that's enduring the season of the vinegar. And you don't know your way out. But the same way that Jesus opened up his mouth and spoke to that season is the same way we can do today. Come to the altar so we can touch and agree on today. Lastly, he's saying, I don't have a church home. And I need to find where Jesus is. We offer you to come and join us here at the Empowerment Church because Jesus is here. Will there be one today? As we thank God and believe God. Lord, we thank you right now.
Thank you, Lord.
That you're the God
Yes.
that speaks.
Yes. Thank you.
Glory to God.
Thank you, God.
You are the God that speaks. And so we say, God, speak.
Speak, oh God.
Speak to our situation.
Oh God.
We have been receiving the vinegar
Yes.
for too long. And God, today we want to declare right now every problem, every issue, every shortcoming, that it is finished. Come on, somebody. You ought to say it right now and declare it right now in the name of Jesus. Somebody say, it is finished. Oh, come on, right now. Claim it right now in the name of Jesus.